Uxbridge FM.
Welcome to the community show here on Uxbridge FM. Today we're finding out about Hillingdon Samaritans, as today is World Suicide Prevention Day. Every single day, around 16 people decide to end their life in the UK, with men 3 times as likely to take their own lives than women. The Samaritans was founded in 1953 and has 20,000 volunteers today with 201 branches across the UK. His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales is the patron. On the line now is Avipsa, one of the volunteers at the Hillingdon branch of the Samaritans. Thanks for joining us today, Avipsa.
Hey Steve, thanks for having me.
So first of all, maybe why did you volunteer to be a Samaritan?
Very interesting question. I have come from India like 10 years back to work here in the UK. And in India, I had so much opportunity while growing up to help anyone and everyone because help is needed every corner there. But when I came here, everything seemed like perfect and no help was needed. So in the first week, I was standing in the Sutton railway station and I saw this Samaritans ad and it said, a Samaritan helped my life. And I was wondering, what is that? And how did that happen? So that's when the idea started. And over time, I got busy building my career, but then I found this Hillingdon branch in Uxbridge and I thought, fantastic. I thought about this long time back. Why not join this branch and see how it is? But honestly, before I joined Samaritans, I had no idea that the phone will keep ringing every second. So I had no idea there is so much help needed. There's so much demand for this service. So that's a quick story of why and how I came across Samaritans.
What does being a volunteer entail?
What we do as part of Samaritans is there are several services we offer, which is listening service. We have face-to-face service, obviously with what's happening this year, so that service has not been going on. And we have email service as well. And people also write letters. So what do we do as part of this service is basically just be there for a person who is going through a very distressing time. Let me answer this question with 3 points. So we have our vision, which is fewer people die by suicide. So that's our vision. The mission is that we want to be there for someone, whoever is in need of someone to have a conversation. And the values that we apply for doing this is listening, that is exploring feelings. Confidentiality is one of the major things, that whatever you are saying, you should be feeling safe and it's going to be between you and me. Non-judgmental, there is no prejudice, no fear of prejudice or rejection, and also human contact, giving that undivided attention and empathy to someone who is going through, distress and despair.
Generally, how much time does it take per week out of your schedule?
This is entirely up to the volunteer. If you have time and willing to help, you can do it 3-4 times a week, and each shift is 3 to 4 hours. If you have less time, you can do it once a week. But as a general rule, what we try to do is do at least once a week shift in our local branches. And we have to go to the offices.
I see. You can't work from home at the moment during lockdown.
No. We did introduce a work from home strategy for a very few volunteers who are not able to come out to the branches. They are self-isolating or something, or taking care of vulnerable people. We have opened up the email service to work from home, but only for a very handful of volunteers. For 99% of us, we need to go in the branch.
And how much training is needed?
When I joined in 2018, I was given almost 4 months of training, And we had to go up to the branch twice a week, and it would start early in the morning and it will go till late in the afternoon. After the 4 months of training on how to deal with this kind of stuff, how to take care of ourselves as well, like how while dealing with calls, how to answer emails. Once we are finished with that theoretical training, then we had a practical training for about 2 to 3 months where we were being monitored. Our calls, our emails, everything was being monitored by very experienced volunteers. So you can say about six months of training.
Wow. And do you know roughly how many calls Hillingdon Samaritans gets?
Yeah, that's something which our branch director puts up on the board for us to know, like how many we have done. So in average, we take about 24,000 to 25,000 contacts annually.
Okay.
So
wow.
which roughly transpires to about let's say 1,200 to 1,300 calls plus emails per month.
Wow.
And that's just the Hillingdon branch. Overall, across 201 branches, there are like 5 million calls annually that we receive.
Is the Hillingdon branch manned 24 hours a day? That seems...
That's a good question. So the Samaritans service is manned 24 hours a day, 365 days, even including Christmas and all other holidays. The Hillingdon branch in itself has different time slots, so it's not manned 24/7.
So after a shift, you've been chatting to these people who've got various issues. How do you feel yourself after a long shift on the phone? Is that quite emotional?
Yes, indeed. While we were trained, one of the main things we were trained was to look at it from a perspective where the caller wants to take you. So you cannot put your own perspective in there. Like, for example, if you have a child of your own and a caller is calling about, talking about child issues, or you are taking care of your elderly parents, and the caller is also having issues by taking care of elderly people. So what we have been taught is we should not be keeping our own emotions into the call. We have to keep it separate. We have to keep our lives out of it. So after every shift, we have an offloading session. So we have a day leader and a night leader, and after every session that we do, we go and talk to that person over the phone. We offload all the calls that we have got. We discuss about it. If anything is bothering us, we talk about that, and that's how we are able to cope with this as well. At the same time, we do in the Hillingdon branch, and I think this is there for all the branches, we do have a group of people, like 4 or 5 experienced volunteers who are there just for the people who are volunteering for Samaritans. And you can reach out to them like anytime if you are going through any issues, for any calls, or even in your personal life, because everyone needs someone.
So it's not just calls related to suicide, it can be calls related to anything.
Yeah, that's a good question, in the sense that Samaritans has been perceived. And I think that was the whole point of establishing Samaritans back in the 1953 was it was a emergency suicide line. But over the years, it has evolved into an emotional support line. So no matter what you're going through, you can just talk it out with a person. So I think the main agenda here is to prevent the crisis even before it has happened.
Yeah.
So not only at the moment of crisis, but take action to prevent it. Be close to your feelings and have a safe place where you can talk about that.
And on that subject, do we know there's the stat that men are 3 times as likely to take their own lives than women? Do we know why that is?
That is a very sad situation. The problem here is the way society has told men for centuries is that they cannot show their vulnerabilities, they cannot cry, they cannot talk about their feelings. And that has got so strong in their mind that men find it difficult to be in touch with their feelings and to talk to even their closet people, lest they think that they're weak. The whole concept of being men has to be strong. And I guess we do need services like Samaritans more and more, because as I was saying, it's a confidential service. So even if you're a man and you're calling, we wouldn't know who you are. And we are non-judgmental. We wouldn't judge what you're going through. So we do need to open up more and more services like this so that men feel comfortable calling up. And I think that's the main reason, that they're not able to talk through what they're going through. And therefore, they just think that ending their life is probably the easiest thing to do. For women talk. They talk about their feelings with anyone and everyone, and it is of course hard for a lot of women as well, and that's why we are here.
Women do talk, that's true. Has there been an increase, do you think, in calls during lockdown?
Yes, as you know, this is a year like never before. Months of lockdown, isn't it? And families and friends are being kept apart. And this is a true form of isolation, like loneliness that people are feeling. Even they are at home with many people, but they still feel like truly lonely. And yes, there has been an increase in the number of calls. And we are expecting more calls coming in the coming months.
I know you can't talk about specific calls, but have you personally talked someone out of taking their own life?
We all have, as part of volunteering for Samaritans, we all have gone through this situation. You might be glad to know that we all come together to help that person. We try and be there for them no matter what they're going through. I won't be able to give you any specific details, but yeah, we all have gone through that, and we all have been trained rigorously to be, in that kind of a situation.
And do you get any feedback from people who have come back from the brink, as it were, and then ring you up later and say thank you or whatever?
Oh yes, we have got that, and interestingly, there are many people who come back being Samaritans volunteers themselves. So they have been helped, and now they want to help. So they have been in that position, and now they want to help someone who is in that position.
Yeah,
so
that
we
makes
have
sense.
People from all walks of life.
So about the charity, where does the funding come from? I assume it's donations.
Yes, there are donations. You can donate to Hillingdon branch directly or to the Samaritans in itself. There are also lots of events and fundraising that goes on over the year. I mean, this year has been, of course, quite hard. We do bake sales, bike rides, marathons, any sort of fundraising events is where we get our money from. There's also this interesting thing about Amazon Smile. I don't know if everyone knows about it. Like, you can use this special link, smile.amazon.com, when you buy anything, and you can support your own charity. And I've obviously selected Hillingdon Samaritans.
Ah, that's interesting for our house. I think our hallway sometimes appears like a UPS depot with all the Amazon parcels coming in. I'll have to tell my wife about that.
Me too.
I know you do some outreach programs as well with the community. Tell me about that.
So just sitting in our offices, in our branches, and taking calls or answering emails didn't seem enough. We had to reach out to, let's say, in office areas where we have done, put up tents and made had events where, anyone passing by, we would talk to them and raise awareness. Like, you might be extremely stressed from your deadlines or whatever you're going through, and with kids at home, with your partner, we are there. You can unburden to this service. So to raise that sort of an awareness, we have been to office areas, we have been to individual offices, we've been to universities, and most interestingly, we have been to schools, and we do that as an outreach program. We reach out to the schools because we really believe that it has to start at the ground level. It has to start at childhood, where you need to learn to be aware of your feelings. You have that place where you can talk to others, even if you're going through a hard time in the school, you're getting bullied, or you have your parents are going through issues which is impacting you. You don't have to deal with this alone. And to start that sort of an education at the ground level, we do reach out to schools as well. You know what, after COVID, God knows what sort of psychological impact it's creating on kids, and our work will increase as soon as things open up. We do have to reach out to these kids and assure them that it's safe.
Yeah, exactly.
If you are really going through a very hard time, And with this lockdown, it's a desperate time for everyone. Please, you don't have to cope with this all by yourself. A Samaritan can be there with you while you are going through these issues. And it's not about the moment of crisis, it's about taking action to prevent that crisis moment. And many people, when they call, they say, "Oh, my problem is not important. I don't want to waste your time." And I really want to spread this message that that is not what is happening. You are not wasting. That is why we are there, just to be there to listen to, no matter what you're going through, whether it's a suicidal feeling, whether it's a self-harming feeling, whether it's a minor feeling like stress from a washing machine breaking down, as simple as that, can be very distressing for many people. And you do not have to deal with this alone. We are here for you, and it's free, from any phone, any line, so it doesn't even cost anything.
And the website samaritans.org for more information and to donate. Now, we're going to end today the interview with a song. One of the volunteers at Hillingdon branch has written a song, Marion, and she sent it in to us. So we're going to listen to that. Thanks for joining us today, Avipsa. That's been great. Thanks for telling us about the Samaritans.
Thank you for having me, Steve.
No worries. Take care. Fantastic work.
Thank you.
Sometimes when skies are grey and you just need someone to show you the way, someone to listen when you've too much to bear, someone who understands and shows you they care, who's not gonna probe or pry, just give you a shoulder on which to cry, hold you up when you're feeling blue, night or day I'll be here for you. Don't keep it bottled up for too long, sharing your worries helps you to stay strong. I'm not here to judge or tell you what to do. Together maybe we can try to find a way through. You know you're never alone. I can always be at the end of the phone, help you up when you're feeling blue. Night or day I'll be here for you. When suddenly life may take a downturn, no matter how many strategies you learn, to cope becomes hard and you need to offload. Share your feelings before you get to the end of the road. I promise not to probe or pry, just give you a shoulder on which to cry, help you up when you're